Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Every Woman Project, Empowering Lives Through Story. My name is Jaworski and I'm incredibly honoured today to have not one special guest, but 4 special guests and 3 generations of strong Sudanese women. So thank you so much for coming on today's show. It's an incredible blessing to have all 4 of you here today. And I want to say welcome.
Thank you.
So here we have Nabil, then we have Namal, then we have Nagone, and then we have Ruth. So Nagone is Namal's mum, and then Nabil is Namal's grandmother, and Ruth is Nabil's sister. So there you go. Welcome to the family. Did I say it right? Well, yes. Okay. So today the first question is for Ruth and Nabil. What was it like for you ladies growing up in Sudan, and how did the war impact your life?
Yeah, so tôi sáng cái Sudan thì đi cái war thì sáng đúng chưa ghé đi có rồi chứ đâu
có thổi ra
sáng Sudan
sáng thổi ra mà đã khi nào ghé rồi làm mấy chuyện lên thêm một lông cũng có cháu có chuyện gì vậy ngồi rồi thêm học rồi chia mà đi nhiều cái này cũng được chia nhân sáng này đàn sáng ấy chứ vẫn cái sáng ấy bao cái gì là không có mấy chuyện bình thường này ngồi là qua rồi đúng là nó có chuyện này có cái vật cái nhà rồi là thế cái đó là cái vấn đề là cái là cú này nữa kìa.
Yeah, so she's saying that Sudan was a great place to live in. So it was a nice place to live in, but because the war broke out, that's the reason why we kind of had to separate our own ways and come here.
Yeah. So when did the war break out in Sudan?
In kind war Japan.
Nika 1964.
Yeah, it started around 1964. That's when everybody kind of flee away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the war was basically between the North Sudanese and the South.
Yeah, so the war was between the North and the South, and it progressively got worse from the 60s onwards. And how did it impact you personally? What did you see? Why was the war so horrific for you to need to leave?
The war, ông chỉ chiến từ lâu nó mình chơi đã qua đi còn chiến.
Sẽ nào bên giáo cái chiến của nó thì yan cái nào này để tara cái gì đó tara yan cái chẳng cái gì thế là miếng mà có bao nhiêu cái gì đó này chỉ nào rồi bảo rồi
Yeah, the reason why people would kind of flee away was because people were being killed. There wasn't much to eat at the time as well, and we were scared about how their children were going to live or reach their full potentials. Yeah, and
so it's a pretty frightening place by the sounds of it.
It was very frightening.
Yeah.
The first. Yeah, the first fight between the North and the South, my sister's husband was killed. That's what my grandma just said. Yeah.
So that was your grandfather?
Grandfather, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, so it became really dangerous then for you all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you decide to then leave Sudan? What was the final deciding point where you said, this is it, we've got to get out of here?
Because there was no more hope, yeah.
What is it? She am about it. Take my bar.
Yeah.
Shall I take a yam? Put him in yam bar.
Yeah.
You another bar. Take another bar. Then I do live bar. Go it and I see it. Go in them.
Yeah.
Like not the American. There's a Corban Bob, not a walker. I can't go to another idea, another garden, another mud.
Yeah. Yeah, because Sudan was no longer like the way that they were born into and raised into, where like they were living in communities, everybody was loving towards each other and all that stuff. But then when the North, people became scared, obviously, and then when the North and the South had the war, everybody was being killed, so no one was safe.
Yeah.
So they knew that getting away was the only solution.
Yeah. So where did you go after you left Sudan? So, and how was that journey for you? Because you obviously didn't have your husband with you. And can you please, Ngone, can you please tell us a little bit about what it was like for you? Because I believe you had 3 daughters. Namal was only a baby at the time when you decided to leave Sudan. So can you tell us a bit about that journey from Sudan to Australia?
Yeah, so Jala.
Jala này mấy chị quét mấy chị chia cái chiếu bao chặt á, đó là nó còn nạp uốn ấy, thế là quá lép uốn ấy tím, chứ bây giờ nó qua đã điện trong bao cát qua rầm chứ.
Yeah, so at the time, men were being killed, and including our dad. Well, he wasn't killed in the war, but like men like him were being killed, and there was no hope. So mom decided that it's time for us to kind of go to a different place where we could kind of find belongingness in a way.
Yeah.
Gian cả cát đó, gian đó cả cát đó. Thế này cái này đang bắt cái này gian cái sa điết, giờ qua từ đây chắc là đó xin bắt cái thằng quân, mình gian này bắt cái con phật, giờ qua này bắt cho qua từ đây chắc là chút.
Yeah, so she said that she left with her children, and then it would because she was a Christian, a believer of God, so she would start the journey off with a prayer and then end with a prayer as well, because that was kind of the hope that she was holding on to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you leave with your husband, or was it just you? Who did you go with?
Yeah, my dad had to stay behind because there was no way for him to leave as well, because obviously the men were at a tougher time.
Right.
Where leaving was another problem itself.
Right.
Yeah, so people were being held hostage and all that type of stuff. Yeah. So we would start the journey at 5 a.m. in the morning and then stop around 7 p.m.
And you were walking the whole time?
Walking the whole time.
So you walked from Sudan to Ethiopia, is that correct?
Malakal, yeah, to Ethiopia.
Malakal?
Malakal was the village.
Okay. And how far was that walk? And how long did it take you?
So it took 6 days, and we arrived on the 7th day.
So she carried you.
Yeah, I was being. Shushu was my older sister was being carried with like a bucket type of thing that was handmade.
Really? So you were carrying. How old was she? Around 2.
My grandma, yeah. She was probably like 1.
And you
so she was being carried.
Carried in a bucket on the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was
on the back, and your other sister.
Yeah, they were all young.
She was walking.
So, yeah, she was walking.
Wow, for 6 days. And did you have food or water?
There was those villages in between where we kind of stopped. And then from there she can cook.
Okay.
She carried the food.
Yeah.
And she had 7 kids with her.
7 children. And were you the only adult?
No, my auntie.
And your auntie. Okay. Wow, just women. How did you feel making this journey?
So then it was a very tough thing, because even like her legs were hurt from the walking and the carrying. Yeah, and also the food that she was carrying finished.
Wow.
In between.
And then
if we kind of made it a stop at a place where people were Christians and stuff, we could kind of relate to them, and then through that they helped us, giving us some food.
That's wonderful that you received help on this really, really arduous journey. And how long were you in Ethiopia? Once the UN then allowed you to go into the refugee camp, how long were you in the refugee camp before you then came to Australia?
Yeah, she had to go refugee camp. How long? Yeah, we would have made about 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. And did you get given food and water? What was there any hope for you to be resettled in Ethiopia? Was the only hope you had was to leave?
Yeah. So trái mùi ngọt and then chẳng ai đi bẹp bên với mấy mà trái mùi tiếp bẹp.
Mà chỉ UN nó có chỉ
UN cho Mosul cho bọn nó có giặc cho bọn nó chặt.
Okay, so the UN kind of gave them cooking essentials and some food, some basic stuff to live upon, and then also forms.
Okay, forms to apply for refugee. Okay,
yeah,
to apply for refugee status in countries that we're taking Sudanese people. Okay,
and then mum.
Yeah, so then you arrived 2004. Okay. And what was it like when you arrived in Australia? How were you greeted by the Australian people? And what was it like for you? Are you okay? Is she okay? And what was it like for you? Did she need a cushion? Can I give her a cushion? Would you like a cushion?
Yes, that's all. Is that better? I agree.
Better? Yes? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, said they were greeted very well.
So when you first came, you were greeted really well?
They had access to food, education, houses, and all the things that we didn't have back then.
Yeah. And how did you feel being in Australia when you arrived?
Feel a god long.
Yeah. Grandma said they felt very, very good when they arrived. Yeah, even they were telling the people back home like this is a great place, you guys come as well.
Yeah. I'm glad that you were greeted nicely.
Wow. So they felt individually that they came to a place where they were at rest basically from suffering and from either being killed.
Yeah.
So they knew that
safety.
Yeah, they're not going to be killed by another human being, by like other things.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they're also just saying about how at first when we came here, it was all peaceful and everything, but then the adapting, it kind of switched a little bit to what they were expecting at first.
Right.
So it's like our children died with reasons that we didn't imagine or expect them to die.
Oh, what can you explain that?
Like,
when they were here in Australia, or
like many of our kids today are dying due to racism or due to the things that we didn't imagine for them to die upon.
Okay.
This the environment itself, like adapting to it, like our mothers, because back home, alcohol wasn't a thing.
One 15 years.
Yeah.
So, 15 years.
Yeah, like back home, like what I said, alcohol and cigarettes were not a thing back home for the younger ones.
Okay.
Which here they have access to towards it.
So essentially, you were raising children in a culture that wasn't your own, where the children had access to things that you didn't have access to. Your village is gone, that village community, and you're trying to adapt to a new way of life.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pain, obviously, because you've gone through war and a lot of trauma. And that obviously gets passed down to the next generation of children. Which leads me to my question for you, Namal.
Yeah.
You were 8 years old when you came to Australia. So what's it like for you? You're an Australian citizen now.
Yeah.
So how do you view yourself? You're Australian, you're Sudanese.
Yeah.
And what's it like for you right now, being a Sudanese woman? You're studying teaching.
Yeah.
So Namal's incredible. I taught her a decade ago, actually, this year, when she was a little girl. And now she's studying to be a teacher herself. She's a mum and she's also working. And I think it's really important that we also say that Namal's sister owns a company. She bought them a house. Her other sister's working as well. They're all contributing positively to the Australian society and they're all giving back to Australia. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to commend all four of you for doing such a brilliant job in raising beautiful, strong, empowered women. So Namal, back to you again.
Yeah.
What's it like for you?
Yeah. Well, first I want to say how much you have inspired me. Like, with you being a teacher, like that's kind of what led me into also wanting to study teaching. And also, I've been in Australia for 14 years now. I consider myself as a Sudanese Australian woman. And well, with the negative attention that's happening with the media at the moment, it's impacting all of us Sudanese people. It doesn't matter if you're old or if you're just born. It doesn't matter if you're an NBA player or if you're a teacher or if you're doing something great for yourself. It doesn't matter. You're still kind of involved in that negative attention, and I think that's mainly because of how it gives the racist people like a go card to express their hate towards us Sudanese people. And it's like, yes, our parents did all they can to bring us to this land of opportunities. And Australia is a great place, like we can't deny that. And the opportunities that we have here in Australia, we wouldn't be able to receive elsewhere. But like I think one of the challenges that we're experiencing is the fact that no one really told us about the negative side of Australia. And then no one told us that we will be exposed to racism. No one told us that we would be hated simply due to our characteristics, our physical appearance. So it's like now that has become a shock to our mothers and to us also. So now we kind of have to adapt to the negative side of Australia, which we didn't know about. And I guess that's a really big impact towards everything. And it's,
So, Namal, you shared with me a story that really upset you that happened to you just the other day. Do you mind sharing with people an actual story about how you experienced racism firsthand?
Well, I told you about how I was at work. And then a grown man, I'm not going to say where he's from, but he came and approached me and he's like to me, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm South Sudanese." And then he's like, "Oh, so you guys are the ones causing all the troubles in the media at the moment." And then he's like, "Be careful, don't hurt me." And I didn't know what to say to him. Like, I just felt as though, how can someone so much older than me think so low? And
what did you say? How did you respond when he said, "Don't hurt me"?
I was just shocked. I was so much shocked. You know when your brain kind of wants to process things?
Well, you're at work. You wouldn't expect to be abused like that.
Nah, not at all. I was just in so much shock. I didn't know what to tell him. I just kind of looked at him up and down and shook my head and walked away from it. But it was really bad.
Yeah, of course. I can't imagine what that must be like, experiencing that kind of racism. Especially in your own workplace by a customer. And I'm really sorry that you have had to experience that, but that's what I guess a lot of Sudanese people are experiencing now due to the actions of a few. So what message would you like to give to the Australian people? If you could tell them something about the South Sudanese community, what would you like to share with the Australian people?
I would just like to say that we're all human, and in humankind, like perfection honestly doesn't exist. And like in every race, you're gonna find a bunch of teenagers that commit crimes, and you're gonna find a few that are doing good or a lot that are doing good. So it's like you can't really stereotype everybody based on what some people do. So it's important to put that first always, and to understand that although a few of us in these people may be committing crimes, a lot of us are also like building onto a lot of things to achieve or to do what our parents put us here for. And it's like no one knows what the young people are going through. No one knows what the older people are going through. So it's important to kind of understand what everybody is experiencing before just judging based on what you see.
Absolutely, because the older generation is trying to raise younger generation in a world that they weren't raised in. The younger generation is trying to explain to the older generation what this world is like. But it's really hard for them because they're the first ones. They're making their own way. So what are some of the positive things that the Sudanese community is doing to help the Sudanese community at the moment?
Well, we have just started like a youth group meetings. We've started like youth meetings where we kind of try to contribute into helping the younger ones. So if it's helping them with homework clubs, or if it's helping them with activities and things like that, to kind of just get their minds off what the media is doing at the moment. because if you are constantly being degraded, you're gonna start to think or feel like you're whatever it is that they're mentioning.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really important point that you just said, Namal, because if you're constantly being degraded, as you said, if a person is being told that you are bad or that you're a thug or to be fearful of you, then you're going to start believing that. Yeah. And when you start believing it, you're going to start acting on it.
Yeah, like we find ourselves
go back to
your country.
To where you come from.
Yeah. Is that what people have said to you?
Yes.
People have told you to go back to where you come from.
Definitely.
I'm so sorry.
We see that because we see that in like what's it called, comments as well, where people will constantly tell you go back to your country, so you don't feel a sense of belongingness anymore.
And yet you're an Australian citizen, contributing to our economy, to our country, all of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, like they were just saying about how like some of the children that came from back home, they came at an age where they were just thrown to a higher educational level, like year 7, whereas they're not like academically on that level. So it's challenging for them. So they're kind of put at a standards where like if they're not able to do the work that they're presented with, they're left to feel as though they're useless, or they're left to feel as though they're not at that level.
So their self-esteem was impacted because they felt stupid, I guess, being...
So it's like because you know how if you don't feel as though you can achieve much, obviously they go wealth and they start to do their own things, and they get exposed to things like drugs and they go to jails and all this stuff
to try and numb that pain, and to get a sense of belonging, that kind of thing.
Sudanese,
the attention the media is bringing upon us at the moment, it's affecting the mothers as well, like they were just saying, because they don't consume alcohol and all these other substances. So it's like for the children to do all that stuff, it's impacting them.
Yes,
And they feel as though the media is not addressing the negative side, or the things that the children are experiencing as much. They're just capturing the bad moments that led to that.
So they're not actually saying about the pain that these kids are in and that kind of thing, what they're doing that led them to do these things, because obviously the alcohol is a symptom of something far greater. What message would you like to give to the Sudanese community?
Well, the message I would like to give is basically it's important for parents to kind of teach their children that yes, even though you're in Australia, you're going to be experiencing a lot of opportunities, but then also you're going to be exposed to a lot of hate. So you need to develop self-love. So that when you go out there to this corrupted world, you kind of know how to take it and what to say to someone that might put you down instead of believing what they say. So it's important to strengthen our children and give them that sort of support that they need to the real world.
With their self-esteem.
With their self-esteem.
To know that they are so much more than what people call them, than what people say. That just because people tell you this one thing about you.
Doesn't mean that's who you are. Because also if you don't feel like you belong to a place, you can't reach your full potentials. And like being studying teaching at the moment, the most important thing is to kind of allow the children to be what they want to be, allow them to become who they want to be, and allow them to like belong in the environment that they're in. So if these young people are being taught constantly to leave this country, be deported and stuff like that, they're not going to reach their full potentials, So it's sad for them and it's hard on them.
Absolutely. Based on your life experience, what is one message that you want to send to the world in 1 or 2 sentences? I know that's a big one, but maybe we'll start with Nabil. Okay, let's start with Nabil.
Dari dia, ke experience wah dia tunci like tega do, message me di lad, Muon, Muon. We been ada aku jadi bikin siang lera gua, ke like me and no kuala, we been ada gua no biar aku no, gua no biar aku pelika, like ke. Mana gua, ke ada ibu lad Muon.
Mình để là cái món để là nên vừa cho thế là mình để điện mình để gor là để gor yên gor nạp quá cam nạp quá
Yeah, she said it's important for everyone to be good amongst each other.
na chỉ là quay chơi thật là chỉ cái na chơi cái gì na quay đó chơi cái này để là par cái na.
Yeah, let's all understand that we're all equal. Yeah, regardless of race or gender.
Cô mới quay ra này giặc việc quay giặc ya này cái chơi chua gua nó đến nào đó quay cho gua cái đến nào đó thì cái đó gấu dân đã thua không mới quay này thôi gì giặc dân phố nó như là bây giờ quay giặc quay đủ biểu lên là giặc cái bờ quá hết nha.
He said respect one another and so that we can live accordingly to the right way.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
The
you
most
very much.
important message I think we can all hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namal, let's go to your mum actually. I'll save you for last.
Yeah.
What's one message that she would like to share?
The message and go to the blood.
Message and they lot no go long con là bên đó là mà bên này cần được.
Yeah.
Cô sang ngay đám mà nó còn người đám mà thì chỉ có chui bà cái nó rèm món.
Yeah. So the message she wants to get across is for everybody to love one another because the reason why we came here is through love.
Yeah.
Mình đã đi ăn được, cha ngay go long cô mình chắc cái riệp thì nhà đã chạy theo cả America. Chỉ có mình chỉ lo còn người bà cả nhà đã cái nữa. Dân cô la thằng gọi đã long gọi đã trẻ đã long Australia.
Yeah. Also, she saw love through the fact that because my sister passed away in America, and the Australian government allowed my nieces at such a young age to come and be adopted by my mom and to live with us.
Cha ngay Australia thì cần được.
So through that, she really saw so much love within Australia.
Yeah.
Để lại cái nó mà ra rồi thì họ có cái quan niệm, họ sẽ làm ngon cả.
Yeah, let that love continue on to kind of block off the negative side.
Yes.
Chẳng chỉ bên kia quan niệm này, thì cái chẳng thì cái trái giá ra gạt quan niệm này, ở cái chỗ một cái nó còn nào.
Yeah, although there might be a bits and pieces that are like the crimes and all that stuff that are happening at the moment. Let us not be judged based on that. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
And Ruth, what about you?
Mẹ yêu anh rất lời đó.
Yeah, she's happy.
I'm happy. Có rất lời đó bác cái Australia. Để xin này giáo bộ bên này vẫn vui.
Yeah, and she's also happy with the Australian people that allowed all of us to come here.
Rất lời đó cái.
Yeah, she's happy.
Bas mình rất lời đó. Con mana gan?
The only thing that saddens us mothers
is
the thing that is affecting our children at the moment.
Because she a culture.
And it's not within our culture.
And if Bokara de la Kela Lakin, Real,
Yeah.
she put the Shaka. Tea Kelly, Chadu, Mudu de Alkelu, she put the Shaka Lake.
Yeah.
Any book, the Banjago Mugul.
Yeah.
Then I wrote the no.
Yeah.
No, go I don't know.
Yeah. So Grandma saying, well, I'm not Grandma said that every child learns through mistakes. Do you know what I mean? And it's like all children are equally the same, and although we may all have some differences, it's just our skin and our physical appearance that's different. But in all humanity, we're all the same, and we experience all sort of mistakes and all that stuff. So no one should be judged based on what they look like.
Yeah, that's so true. No one should be judged based on what they look like.
Tell like cái này nhỏ chắc là chồng nó cứ run đông như này chắc là chơi như vậy bọc vì happy cái chuyện này từ bây giờ mà cứ long time That way, that was
So they look
think
at this
you go
country as
back,
their land
we
as well.
come.
Yeah.
So, even if
You go back to
even
your
if they
country.
hear go back, they
Wait,
have
I saw
a
no
You think it's
So
our
this is their
country
home.
too.
they feel like this is their home as well.
Oh, well, welcome. This is
Yeah.
your home.
It's our home.
So, yeah, Namal, can you share with us now?
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I would want to share to everybody.
Chiang bán chiang cái chiang là con là sẽ là mình kìa.
Yeah. The one thing that I would like to say as a word of inspirational thing, it would be basically it's important to love yourself. It's important to know, even like you might not know your purpose at the time, but everybody's here for a purpose. We all have our individual purposes, and do not allow anybody to put you down in a way that you're not. So just believe in what you want to achieve, believe in what you want to do, and don't allow the outside world to kind of, bring you down. It's important to treat the other people the way that you would like to be treated. So it's like, if you don't want to be treated a certain way, then you shouldn't treat that person, another person like that. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, ladies. I just want to really commend you on your bravery, on your strength, on your vulnerability today. And I truly believe that through us sharing our stories, we can start to break down the barriers that divide us and start to build bridges between us instead. And I truly believe that today this is what you have been doing. So I want to just commend you and to thank you for your time and for opening up and for sharing your experiences with us. So thank you for watching this episode of Everyone Project. If you would like to leave a comment below, we'd love to hear from you as to what you learned through this episode. So please write it below, or tag a person that you believe needs to hear this message, or even share it with them as well. And may we just realize that at the end of the day, all we truly want as women, as humanity, is we want safety, we want love, and we just want to raise our families the best that we possibly can. And I think that's one of the greatest things that can come out of this, is that we really, at the end of the day, all want the same thing. So let's start spreading love. Let's start being love. And let's make this world a place that we're really proud of, because we have the power to do so right here, right now, right today. So thank you for watching Everyone Project. If you'd like to see more inspiring episodes, then please go to meganjaworski.com, and remember, your story